Moskowitz just went nuclear on Kristi Noem, and even Republicans aren't defending her.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Man, if you want to know how things are going on in America, I mean, just look at my colleagues. I mean, they want to talk about Europe because things are going so well here. You know, Mr. Chairman, Secretary Noem is scheduled to appear here in a month, and I'm going to say something that might surprise you. I don't think she should come. You know why I don't think she should come? Because I think she should be fired before that. She shouldn't be here. So if you want to invite her as a private citizen, no problem. You know, Leader Thune was asked, does he have confidence in her? He said, that's up to the president. Josh Hawley was asked, would he vote for her again? He says, thank God he doesn't have to. That real vote of confidence there. Senator Kennedy wants Tom Homeland to run the show. By the way, he now is. Senator Tillis wants her fired. Senator Murkowski wants her fired. Congresswoman Maliotakis says all options should be on the table with who should run the agency. Not a single Republican House member or senator is running to the television to defend Noem. And by the way, President Trump, wasn't lost on me, skipped her in his cabinet meeting just a couple days ago. She was the only secretary he didn't allow to talk. It's time to fire her. Why hasn't it happened? I know what I need to do. I need to remind the president who he used to be. I want to take you down memory lane. You know what we need? We need Apprentice Trump. Where is that guy? Mr. President, you fired people so many times, they even made a doll about you firing people. I bought it on Amazon, it was $9. Obviously, it's doing very well. But look, you take this doll out, probably made in China. You take the doll out, and look, it's got, very nicely done, by the way. If any of my Republican friends want to spend time with it later, I'll loan it to them. Look, so here's the doll. It says to fire people in 17 different ways. It's time for her to be fired. She is the weakest link of his team, and it's enough. And again, I got plenty of material, as you see, Mr. President, to remind you how to do it. Just go back, go on your reruns, go find some old episodes for some inspiration. I yield back.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them.
We heard about this domestic terrorism thing, right? Domestic terrorism. That was the first thing we heard. I have a question. This is the person who within minutes of the shooting, went on TV and called it domestic terrorism. What is she, hiding her face like her ICE agents now? She can't show her face either? By the way, is this what the $800 billion went to? Every day we see her after there's some new tragedy in Homeland, she's wearing a different outfit with a different hat. I mean, come on, guys, she looks ridiculous.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Kristi Noem, DHS Director and the Cruella de Vil of American cosplay, held a press conference recently to spew authoritarian talking points and use the horrific, unjustified killing of Renee Nicole Good to expand ICE operations in Minnesota and beyond.
An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him. And my understanding is that she was hit and is deceased.
Good was an unarmed mom who was shot in the streets of Minneapolis by one of Noem's bootlickers who, after shooting her, called her a name which any woman who has ever been afraid of a man being violent felt deeply.
Get out of the car! Fucking bitch.
Is that Agent Ross's voice calling Renee Good a fucking bitch?
I can't determine which one it is, but it could be, sir.
She's not just an embarrassment to the country. She's an embarrassment to you and the president. Okay, she deserves to be removed from her job by the president, and if not, impeached.
DHS and Immigration and Customs Enforcement claimed that the agent, Jonathan Ross, who killed Good, was threatened by Good. Donald Trump even made the claim that he was run over. Kristi Noem described Good as a domestic terrorist, but people watched the video for themselves, and I've seen it multiple times. We all saw something very, very different than Kristi Noem and the Donald Trump narrative.
After the brutal murder of Charlie Kirk, which was domestic terrorism, okay, we tried to de-escalate. After the assassination attempt against the president, which was domestic terrorism, I was appointed to the task force to investigate that assassination attempt. We tried to de-escalate. After the anti-Semitic attack in Colorado, in which you put forward a resolution that included language about ICE's favorable role in that. 75 Democrats voted for that resolution, even though there was no reason to put that in there, but you did it to try to put us on the board. So this idea that that Democrats have said nothing, that we haven't tried to de-escalate. It's just not true. It's just not true. Now, it's not like you guys have any credibility on de-escalation. I mean, literally, we're not the ones who told tens of thousands of people to show up to the Capitol and run in here like a mob. And now you all tell people it never happened. You know, like, oh, that's not what the deal was. It's not like every day there isn't some sort of tweet that just escalates and escalates and escalates. And so, listen, I hope one day we could have a hearing on de-escalation. I would love to participate in a hearing on how we together de-escalate. But looking at one party and saying, you don't de-escalate, I mean, that's literally escalation. We can't have a serious dialogue on how we do bring down the temperature together.
That ICE agent became the face for domestic violence. He's the poster boy for every undertrained, unqualified, misogynistic, raging piece of shit who's ever raised a hand to a woman. And the crazy part is that this is who Donald Trump elevates. This so-called Christian lunatic that they gave a gun and $50,000 bonus to killed an innocent woman. And by doubling down through intimidation and cruel tactics, door-to-door smashing into people's homes, DHS is sending a message that should terrify everyone. If this can happen to a woman in broad daylight, it can happen to anyone. Cruelty and pain are the goal here, and MAGA is celebrating, saying this is what I voted for, and flooding social media with I stand with ICE memes. And this is where the rot within the Republican Party, within their cult, really shows. Republicans, MAGA influencers, and right-wing media went online to blame the victim and rewrite what people could see with their own eyes. And keep in mind, these are the same people who lost their minds when anyone said anything negative about Charlie Kirk getting shot. Remember that? Call their job, get them fired. But now those same people are perfectly comfortable justifying the killing of a soccer mom by blatantly lying and accusing her of building the cause of her own death. The hypocrisy is unreal. In less than a year, we've watched the MAGA cult flip every value they claim to stand for. Anti-sex trafficking to silence the complicity, anti-pedophilia to protecting pedophiles, anti-war to cheering state violence and collective punishment as long as they think they're owning the libs. And no one represents the collapse of American ideals better than Kristi Noem. She's a real cosplay queen, a Cruella de Vil, a brand manager for authoritarian aesthetics, border cosplay, cowboy cosplay, gun photo ops, and she looks ridiculous. Every crisis gets a new outfit, but none ever gets accountability. This is the same Kristi Noem who was banned by multiple native tribes in South Dakota for repeated disrespect and treating sovereign nations like props. When entire tribal governments say that you're not welcome, there's a reason for it. And we're all finding out why in real time. We're all seeing what they've known for years. The natives say that Kristi Noem is a bird-legged hoe, a puppy killer, and a bad person. Jared Moskowitz calls her ridiculous. And while all of this was unfolding, the double talk, the staged photo ops, the extremist spin, the deflection from Fox News and the other trash news channels that Donald Trump controls, out of the mess and the chaos, we heard a voice that wasn't reading from the same script. It was one of those moments of clarity because Jared Moskowitz said what absolutely needed to be said. He didn't pull any punches. He didn't get drowned out by the noise they always rely on, the noise they use to smother dissent and shut down any criticism of Donald Trump, their dear leader. He looked them straight in the eye, all of MAGA, and said exactly what needed to be said. And he's right. That line about calling out their hypocrisy on credibility when they have none on de-escalation, spot on. That's the point. They want to lecture America about credibility, about values, about law and order. But these are the same morons who sent an angry mob to the Capitol on January the 6th, beat and maced police officers, killed Brian Sicknick, and unleashed trauma and damage that people are still living with today. And yet they have the audacity to say Ashley Babbitt was a hero and Renee Nicole Good was a domestic terrorist. Subpoena Pam Bondi. Do what it takes to hold her accountable too. You want to talk about turning reality upside down? Black is white, up is down, down is up. Holy crap. Watching Moskowitz in that moment was like watching someone finally flip the tables. And damn it, it was epic. Kristi Noem didn't calm anything down after Renee Nicole Good was killed. In fact, she poured gasoline on the damn fire. The very next day, there was a shooting in Portland. Then all of a sudden, there were door-to-door raids in Minnesota. Innocent neighbors, people being victimized, masked agents kicking in doors, guns pointed everywhere, standing in a crappy stacked line. That's intimidation in a uniform. And don't let anyone tell you that this came out of nowhere. They told us that this was coming. J.D. Vance said it himself. We're going door to door. Now we're watching it play out in real time. This is what Kristi Noem's one of ours, all of yours looks like in real time. This is how authoritarianism shows up. This is fascism. And Harry Truman probably said it best. It always starts with silencing opposition. And history only shows one direction that goes, towards repression, towards terror, towards a country where people are afraid to step outside of their own damn homes. Our fathers fought this. Our grandfathers fought this. They fought Hitler's oppressive regime. And now it feels like we're fighting the same damn thing again. While masked agents roam neighborhoods and Republicans lie straight to your face. And let's be clear about something else. This country is a nation of immigrants. Every single person listening to my voice came from immigrants, unless you're Native American. And isn't ICE supposed to be working on the border? Instead, they've left it wide open to brutalize American citizens in the heart of the country where their jurisdiction is highly questionable. And MAGA is too damn stupid to understand that the machine they're cheering for is going to come back on them too one day, because that's how this always works. They cheer the cruelty, they celebrate the raids, they flood social media with "I stand with ICE" memes, and they don't realize they're building a system that doesn't care who you voted for. Once it's done with the people it hates first, it eats its own. And karma will come around, because just doing your job has never been a defense. Not in history, not at Nuremberg, not now, not ever. And when this is over, and it will be over, there will be investigations, there will be trials, and there will be consequences. No more slaps on the wrist. No more pretending this was confusion or chaos or good faith mistakes. Power without accountability, without checks and balances, is how democracies die. And right now, that's the choice in front of us. Either we accept fear as normal, or we hold these people accountable and save this democracy. There is no third option. It's good versus evil, and you've got to pick a side. And that's a fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.
This hearing wasn't subtle. Moskowitz didn't hedge. He didn't soften his tone. He went straight at Noem, and then aimed directly at Donald Trump. The apprentice doll moment? That wasn't random. That was deliberate political theater. It was designed to remind voters of the version of Donald Trump who built a brand on firing people publicly and decisively. Moskowitz's message was simple. If Trump fires everyone else, why not her? And here's where it gets politically dangerous. Several Republican senators have openly questioned Noem's leadership. That matters. When members of your own party aren't running to defend you on cable news, it signals vulnerability. But the real flashpoint is the ICE shooting in Minneapolis. Noem called it domestic terrorism within minutes. That label is heavy. It carries legal weight, political weight, emotional weight. Critics argue she escalated before facts were clear. Supporters argue she defended federal agents under attack. This is the broader battle line in American politics right now. Is DHS restoring law and order? Or is it inflaming tensions for political optics? Moskowitz tried to flip the narrative, tying Noem's rhetoric to January 6th hypocrisy. He argued Republicans can't lecture about de-escalation while defending the Capitol riot. That's a strategic move, because once January 6th enters the frame, the debate shifts from immigration policy to democratic legitimacy. And that's where this gets serious. If Republicans frame this as protecting federal agents under threat, they win on law and order messaging. If Democrats frame it as abuse of power and federal overreach, they energize their base around authoritarianism concerns. Noem's biggest vulnerability isn't the criticism from Democrats. It's that silence from Republicans. Politics isn't just about who attacks you. It's about who defends you. Right now, that defense looks thin. And if Trump senses political liability heading into an election cycle, history tells us he doesn't hesitate. That's the real story.